It's time for Westside Technology Declassified, where we reveal the inner workings of technology operations at District 66. This is episode number 7, recorded Thursday, October 20th, 2016. Matt Lee and Greg Betts are here with me again, and today will be the Declassified Tip or Treat episode. We'll be focused on some quick tips and tricks that we use almost every day and that we think that might be also useful to you. And Dr.
Paul,
Lee and Dr. Betts.
Yeah, Dr. Linger, Dr. Lee, I think we have some really good tips this week to use for especially for the month of October, having it being a tip or treat episode. So I'm excited to share some of our tips.
I am excited as well. I feel a little left out that I didn't get the memo about wearing a costume.
Well, originally it was trick or treat.
And what are you implying about me, Matt?
No, I just meant Greg, like you and I both missed it out. I think, Greg, you forgot to send a message.
Well, I think I read that it was trick or treat episode, so I thought, oh, it's a costume one. So anyway.
All right. Well, we have a good episode in store today. We're talking and focusing a lot about different tips and things that we normally use in our day-to-day life with our technology. First thing, you want to talk a little bit about our PD Day, Dr. Betts?
Sure. We had a really great PD Day on October 10th where Dr. McCann kicked it off with a keynote about systems and design teams and work groups, and then all staff members throughout the day were able to go through the Stanford Design School's design process, and they were looking to solve a problem within their school related to one of their strategic plan goals.
I've heard some good things about the day from people, and that it was a successful effort and a good experience for everybody.
Yeah, and we posted on the Professional Learning website Dr. McCann's keynote speech and then some pictures and highlights throughout the day of our staff members.
Cool. So we'll try to get those in the show notes below so if people wanted to go watch it. You said the entire keynote is there?
Yeah, it's about 22, 23 minutes, the entire keynote. So it's not too long, and it's packed full of really good stuff and a great message from Dr. McCann.
Awesome.
Okay.
So I think next up we're going to let's talk a little bit, Paul. You were going to jump in and kind of tell us some, not necessarily trick or treats, but some Mac focused tips here.
Okay. I don't know about the rest of you, but I operate a lot off of my desktop. And so I'm going to switch over here and actually get to my desktop. And what I find is that oftentimes I operate a lot off of my desktop and stuff tends to build up there. And I've seen a lot of teachers' desktops that also have a lot of files. Sometimes they get so many that they start piling up on each other. So first thing I would like to do is just remind teachers that it's pretty easy just to go to the file menu and go to new folder. And oftentimes I will create a new folder that I'll just call CLUP. And that's my short for cleanup. And then occasionally what I will do is I will just grab a whole bunch of items from my desktop, drag them over into my cleanup folder, and I'm not throwing them away because you never know when you might need something, but sometimes you just need to get things out of the way so that you have a desktop that is a lot cleaner. So let's take this cleanup folder and do a couple more things here. I would like to show you how to spice that up a little bit. So it's not just a plain old blue folder on my desktop. I'm actually going to create a custom icon for that folder so it stands out on my desktop. And the way that I'm going to do that is to create my own little graphic. And the next tip I'm going to show is if you do with one hand, I don't know if you're seeing my hand here, Command key, Shift 4, what will happen is your cursor will turn into a little crosshairs. And I'm going to go ahead and click then my trackpad, and I'm just going to select the lighthouse on my desktop here. And that's going to be a screenshot that will appear normally on your desktop. I actually have my screenshots automatically get filed into a folder. That might be a tip for another day. But now I'm going to go into that screenshot that I did, select it, copy it.
And so, Paul, you just opened that up in preview, and it just opened up?
I just opened it up in preview.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be, if you double click on the screenshot, that's the default that it'll probably open up in. So then I'm going to go into, take my cleanup folder, and I'm going to go to the file menu and do get info. And then up here, close to the name, I actually can highlight the folder icon, and then I can do a paste of my little lighthouse graphic that I just did the screenshot from, and close that. And now my cleanup icon has a custom lighthouse icon. So to summarize, you can create a folder, you can move stuff into it off your desktop so that your desktop is a little cleaner and more efficient for your operation. And then you can also do a screenshot from Command-Shift-4 to get the little crosshairs to be able to select what you want to get. And then open up that resulting screenshot and paste it in up in the get info of the folder in order to create a custom folder icon. And guys, we talked about doing annotations of PDFs. I think I'm gonna pass on that. We'll do that another episode.
All right, cool. So you were able
to go. So that's my
in.
tip of how to do some things on the Mac side as far as getting organized and doing some customization of your desktop.
Cool. Yeah. So that looks kind of neat. Be able to take any, and it works with any picture, right? Anything that you can copy, you could make a folder icon out of.
Yes, you could get something from Google Images or whatever. It's just obviously a small space, so you need to kind of select an image. It's going to be relatively small and square.
Very cool. So
and Dr. Langen, where did you paste that again at? Like after you got into info, where did you paste?
Yeah, when you just click once on the item to select it, and then you can do a Command-I, or you can go up to the file menu and do get info, and then up by the file name in the upper left-hand corner, I'll just go and delete my lighthouse there. There will be the blue or the normal color folder there. If you click on it, you can then paste, and it will replace the default. So it's in the upper left-hand corner of the get info.
Oh,
so it's really pretty easy.
All right. So the next thing we want to kind of transition to real quick is one of the resources that we've been talking about an awful lot on this show and then in other communications has been lynda.com. And so we thought it'd be cool to kind of share the lynda.com, what do we say, the clip of the month or the course of the month. And this month, Stormtrooper Betts is going to share the course that he just went through.
Sure. Well, in my line of duty, I've got a lot of difficult conversations with a lot of other stormtroopers, and or maybe Vader comes in and I got to say something hard with him. But I just recently took
the whole Sith Lord thing can be a problem, right?
Yeah, I mean, so you got to be equipped. You got to have some skills when you go in there on how to have some difficult conversations with them. So it's a 2-hour course, and I found it to be very useful. Great tips, great practice opportunities, and it came with probably 5 or 6 different PDF downloads that are templates for you to just kind of give you a logic map on how to think through having those difficult conversations. So I would definitely recommend Difficult Conversations.
I should have kept that in mind when I abandoned my post when that starship landed on the Death Star.
Yep, you just ran away. And sometimes running away is an answer, but most times it's not.
Most of the time, I should have taken the Lynda course. All right.
Next time.
The holiday season is approaching, guys, and this is just a time of the year when, I have trouble sometimes finding gifts for people. Do you guys have any ideas for the technology savvy or maybe the not so technology savvy person as far as holiday gifts in the coming months?
Sure. I think one of them that Dr. Betts and I both enjoy is, are you ready for this, Greg?
I am ready.
All right, so the number one thing that we have is our fancy Gunner screen glasses. Greg, do you want to explain these a little bit?
Sure. The Gunner glasses, as you can see here, I think, come in many different styles to appeal to all audiences. But the real idea behind them is the lens cuts out the blue light from the screen, and it enlarges it just a bit just to make everything more clear. Matt, I got the idea from you when I saw you trying them out, and since then I have 2 pairs, one at work and one at home, and I feel every time I'm going to be at the computer for longer than 5 or 10 minutes, I am just putting them on, and the eye strain, I mean, I just don't feel the eye strain. My eyes aren't as dry, and I feel like I don't get as tired.
Yeah, and I'll put some notes below on the website to go to, but they have a lot of different things that, you know, like Greg said, it cuts out the blue light, it also reduces glare a little bit, and then it does magnify it a little bit to make things just that much easier to see. And just like you, I find that they really do reduce eye strain a lot.
Yeah,
that's a really good tip. When you mentioned that it filters out reflects the blue light, as I look at you, Greg, I can actually see blue light in your image, so it's showing that it's being reflected back to the camera, not going into your eyes. So it's very, very evident what's going on there.
Very cool. Yeah,
well, that's one thing, but you know, I've got a lot of people that I have to shop for. Any other ideas, guys?
Well, I could definitely recommend here the Samsung 1 terabyte solid state drive. And I mean, you can see, I mean, this thing could fit in your wallet probably. Very handy. It's 1 terabyte. And with a solid state drive, I don't want to say that it's fail proof. And I've found it to be very versatile. I don't have to worry about a spinning hard drive crashing in my bag. Just really good peace of mind. So the Samsung portable SSD 1 terabyte USB flash drive.
And to chime in, since it's the solid state, it's really fast. So you don't notice a difference if you're working off of the external drive versus the internal drive on your computer.
Yeah, man, I would say that was a really good suggestion when we were talking about these, to get the one that definitely was solid state. It was a little bit more money, and I'm finding it, I mean, just the time savings alone was worth it.
So what was the rough price on that, Greg?
Oh, you would ask me that. I think it was around
just ballpark.
$200 probably. Some of the other solid states that you can buy out there can be pretty expensive, but I mean, I felt it was a really good price. And I mean, when you're backing up stuff and you're working on projects, I mean, you want something that's going to be good and not slow you down. So.
And I'll try to find that one and put a link in the show notes too, if people want to see the particular model that Greg has.
And I think, Matt, I think I got this.
There are other drives. There are other drives like Western Digital, actual spinning drives, that now you can get probably a terabyte for about $60 now, if you're looking for a way to have backup and transporting files. And you know, at this point, we really do want you know, the holiday season, you're taking a lot of family pictures and things, so you want to have some kind of a system to back up your computer to make sure if you have a computer drive fail, you do have those irreplaceable things stored safely somewhere else. Okay, well, thanks, guys. That helps me a lot, and maybe we'll have this an ongoing segment in future episodes. So Matt, I did my bit with the Mac focus tips. What kind of tips do you have for us that are geared more toward iOS?
Sure, yeah, there's a couple just quick hitters that I wanted to go over. First, before I get into that, just a quick tip on the iPad. I've noticed that a lot of people get into a habit of force quitting the apps. And so let me show you what I mean by that. So what you can see here is, so I got my iPad and I have Mail. A lot of people, when they get done using something, they do the double click and then swipe up to close out. That really hasn't been shown to improve anything. In fact, sometimes it could even hurt your battery life, because then the next time you go into that application, it has to reload everything. And there's also been some reports that people have been losing data. because they've been swiping out of the app and quitting it before it has a chance to save. So you might think you're trying to be more efficient by quitting things, but really the iPad goes through and quits automatically when it needs the extra memory, and then it ends up just being a picture that you're quitting out of. So by doing that, you know, best case, nothing happens. Worst case, you lose something. So we're just telling people now there's no need to go up and have to swipe and quit out of things as you go. The next couple I think are super cool. All right. The next couple I want to show you is there's some built-in things now with iOS 9 and later that allow you to do some awesome things. So the first one I want to show you is just take a screenshot. So on the iPads that our teachers and students have here at Westside, if you hold down the home button and the power button at the same time, the screen will flash, and then that will be a picture that's taken. And if I go into photos, I can see down here on the bottom that I have my screenshot. And so that can be great if you're sharing directions with students or just with other people on how to direct them where to go by doing screenshots. The other thing that you can do with that is built into the iPad, and in particular Mail, there is the ability to do what Apple calls markup on PDFs and screenshots and images and graphics. And so let's say I have that screenshot and I wanted to send that to Greg. So I'm going to make a new email message here to Greg and say, check this out. And I'll come in here and I'm going to attach that screenshot and say, is that the one I want to use? Yep, that's the one. And I really want to show him where that Seesaw app is. And I'm a little worried that he's not going to find it just looking at the picture itself. If I tap on the picture, you see one of the items that pops up there says markup. And if I tap on markup, now that takes me to a new screen and I get drawing tools that I can interact with that image. So I can choose my color. And so I'm going to maybe do this orange color. And now I can write on it. And I can circle that. I can select text and say, click here. Move that right there. And then when I hit done, that is then compiled back into the actual graphic. And that's in my email message. When I send it to him, he will see the words click here with the circle around it. And then I can hit send, and that will go off to him.
Matt,
so it's just really cool.
That is handy. And I just, how many times I think I've taken a screenshot and had to put it into a different program to do something. And lo and behold, I could have marked it up and just circled or put a note on it right there from just taking that screenshot.
Yeah, it is really cool. And it just goes out there, and you can do that with images. You can do that with PDF files. So if you have a PDF that you need to mark up real quick in an email message, you can do that.
And that's under, and Matt, that's under preview?
No, that's just within the built-in email app on the iPad. So if you have your email set up to be checked using the Mail app, you have access to that just by tapping on an image and then selecting markup.
So no extra extensions. I don't have to go into anything else. It just happens right there.
Right. Don't need to buy anything. Don't need to install anything. Nothing. Just built in and
that's
free.
easy. That's easy.
Okay, guys. So this was a quick episode, but even though we had a stormtrooper on the episode, I think we were right on target for our time. What are we at, Matt?
We're just under 20 minutes or so.
All right. Well, anything else that we need to talk about to let people know about?
Nope, fellas. I think a great episode, and have a great rest of your week.
Okay. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yep, sounds good. Until next time.